What's up, guys? Happy New Year's. New me, new place, and look at this place. I just recently moved in. We have until about the 18th of this month for Clash of Fates to come in. So it's gonna be new extra cards, new battle cards, and new strategies altogether. So until then, I got a special deck, locals challenge again with Mr. Master Roshi. So I saw like a tier list from Android, and I saw Master Roshi was like literally on the bottom of that tier. It's on the C tier, and he's like the last one. So I thought I took it upon myself to make it a challenge, make it viable, make it good, and yeah, I did pretty well. I got second place at my locals. I went 3-1, and I lost. Actually, it was undefeated, and I lost to someone who actually lost one already. So it just so happens, it's just an unfortunate circumstance. I did misplay somewhere in that game. I can explain it later, but it's probably not very interesting to you guys anyway. So I took this leader and I made it very cool. My first matchup was Harugan Mono Blue. I beat that deck. And then my next matchups, I played Knockout Strike Gogeta, which plays the Storm Engine, and then I played Golden Frieza, which played the Lemon Lime, and he remained undefeated until round 3, and he took his first loss from me. And then the last one, which I had lost to someone who was already defeated, and he played 17 leader, the Super 17 leader. So fortunately, I got second after losing to him, and he didn't get first. He got third, and the guy I beat got first. So it was one of those little triangle things in Swiss Robin. It's really strange, but that's besides the point. So yeah, we have until March until Set 6 comes in with the Broly stuff. So until then, we gotta make do with what we got and see what we can make out of the stuff that's already out in the card pool. So the next segment, you'll see the deck profile. Alright, so this is the Master Roshi deck profile. Here's the leader. His front side is Burst 2, which you basically mill 2 cards off the top of your deck, and then after you do that, you draw a card. This leader is unique because when you attack any battle card or extra leader, you get to draw a card. A lot of the old leaders now used to be you have to attack a leader with your leader, and then you're able to draw a card. But with him, you can attack a battle card and then draw a card. So you have that little neat mechanic inbuilt in all the cards in set 5 to be able to draw a lot of cards with your leader unawakened. And then of course he has the regular awaken ability, where if you awaken, you untap 2 energy. Very generic stuff. His backside, sorry, it's not foil. I didn't pull one. His name is Max Power Master Roshi. He looks pretty buff. The one thing that you need to know about him is when you awaken, you have to actually already have 5 cards in the drop area in order for you to activate his ability to draw a card. So you have to make it upon yourself to make a deck around that little weakness that he might have. But his weakness is definitely mitigated very shortly, anyways, when you build a deck around him. So his sparking ability, you have to have 5 in the drop area, and then he gets +5, and he gets to rest one of your opponent's battle card. Of course, it doesn't ignore barrier, so you're able to draw a card, and he gets +5 power. So he's really strong. He's also a yellow leader, which makes him really useful because you can use a lot of different yellow cards in your deck to help you survive to later turns and play bigger threats in the future. So it's a very Roshi toolbox card. It's a very interactive. I think it's an interactive card or interactive deck. So you'll see shortly what I mean. So that's the leader. Every deck needs to have a sort of income, meaning you have to have some way to draw cards and then keep up your hand advantage and then keep up your field advantage as well. So you need to play, of course, well, not so, of course. I took a little bit of elements from the World Martial Art stuff, and I played the Master Roshi and the Shin combo. I highly think that if you're going to play a deck with World Martial Art cards, you need to be able to see each of them effectively. And a lot of the times in my games, I found one but not the other. So you need to have cards or strategies in order to make sure or ensure that you're able to see each of the components to effectively. So what did I do? So because Roshi is able to mill cards on the top of the deck. That makes it my drop area a toolbox area, so that I could fetch it later on in the game, so that it can satisfy the component. So you'll see what I mean shortly. So definitely for the income, I definitely play these old men. So the income, this deck is mainly built around having cards in the drop area and reoccurring it, so that you could use it for different situations. So this deck is definitely based around the Shenron Majesty's Figures of Majesty. I think most of you guys know what he does. When you have 5 in the drop area, you're able to draw a card, so it gives you additional pluses and income. So same thing with these guys, they give you income, and he also gives you income. But he also lets you choose between reviving a card that's 2 or less, and so I built my deck to do that mechanic, and so it's very contingent on you seeing this card in your opening hand. So I not only play, he also has the ability to untap 2 energy, which is very vital as well. So so I play cards that I want in my drop area, so that I can reoccur it later. So I played a Gene. Gene is a card that when you combo with it and you have a yellow leader, you mill 3 cards off the top, up to 3 cards from the top of your deck into the drop area. So her being a 2 cost allows Shenron to revive her, so you can do additional milling with her. You can also attack with her and then also mill as well. So it's whenever you combo with her or when you attack with her, you're allowed to mill 3 cards, which you want to do anyways, because if you mill these guys, you can also fetch it off of Shenron. So Shenron can just revive any of these guys in order for you to utilize the pluses. A very weird card in here is the King Yema Supervisor, Soul Supervisor. He is a blue card, but there's no other blue cards in this deck, so you basically have to revive him. And the reason why I play him is to make sure that Shenron, the leader, doesn't have anything to revive off that's decent off the drop area. So I put it back in their deck so that they can not revive it as well. So eventually I can just combo with him later and then revive him with Shenron, depending on how many Shenrons I have. So that's why I only play 1. There's a lot of milling in this deck that you need, that you might use. And then I played the black cards. I played 2 Bastion to help me awaken, and then of course he's a good control card to stop my opponent from playing free cards with non-keywords, and so they would have to just pay 2 cards from their hand in order for that to occur. And then I play 1 Kami and 1 Dende, which is also revivable by Shenron's Majesty. Dende is useful against Shenron because they like to ramp early, so if you can mill your deck enough to where you can revive it on turn 4, you can blow up one of their energies to stop them from playing really big battle cards. And then Kami, of course you can board wipe with him if they get too greedy with their board, and you can just destroy the whole thing for 3 energy, which is good. And then of course, not so much of course, I play different super combos. I play 3 of the Divine Crybeerus and then 1 Shigesh. Divine Crybeerus is one of the sparking one where you have to have 5 in your drop area in order to draw a card and get +5. You can also use this Unawakened. The only requirement is that you have 5 in drop area, and when you're milling, that's very possible. And then I play 1 Shigesh, and all the super combos are also 2 costs. So a lot of so you can revive it as well off the Shenron. So a lot of Shenron tricks. And then I play 1 Shigesh so I can just pop in a surprise. So it's a really yellow tricks toolbox mechanic, so that you can like trick your opponent into doing things and then surprising him with this little trick. Shigesh also has a different target too. You can also revive. You can also throw in the Mass Saiyan on your opponent's turn if you suspect that they're going to revive cards. So that's what you can do. The other mechanic, or the other part of this strategy, is my win con. The win con of this deck is the Cooler, the Blood of the Tyrant. So his ability is you banish, or sorry, that's the Yu-Gi-Oh terminology. You send 1 battle card in your battle area to the warp area, so you can even choose itself back to the warp area, and then you play any Cooler Squadron from your drop area or a Frieza's clan. And the best Frieza's clan you can revive is obviously Frieza, Emperor of U7. And so you might be thinking, well, how are you going to survive up to turn 7 to play this engine? The thing is, you don't have to, because of the yellow package. So the yellow package I play are 4 negates, Flying Nimbus. This will help you survive until the higher turn, and you also have Rikuma Race Gun, which basically ends your opponent's turn when you're playing against Shenron. And of course, if you don't see this, you also have a way to make sure that he comes out earlier. And the way he comes out earlier is that you play the Secret Evolution Cooler. So since, and his ability says you have to have 3 Cooler Squadron or more in your drop area, and since you're milling so much with this deck, or you just inherently mill with your leader effect, you want to mill your Cooler Squadrons. Where are they? Yeah, you have 3 of these, and then 3 of these. So these guys are your Cooler Squadrons, that you want in your drop area, and you only need 3, and it doesn't matter the name as long as it's Cooler Squadron. You have 3 of them. There's a third Cooler Squadron, but he's a 10k combo shield, which I found that to be undesirable in deck building, so I omitted him completely and just played these guys. The reason why I only play 3 and 3 is because I also don't want to draw them all the time. So I wanted to fit in other cards in my deck so that I could, so that I can have a viable strategy per turn, and I didn't want to just have too many of these in my deck. So yeah, so with him, he reduces the cost of Cooler, evolve cost Cooler to 3. So if you bring out this guy and you untap energy with either the Shenron card or with your leader when he awakens, you can play this guy and then revive the Cooler, or sorry, you can revive Frieza, and this is your win con. This is how you win. Other ways you can bring out this guy earlier is the Stoutheart, or what's called Cold Strike Frieza, which makes it so that you can just pay the X evolve cost and just play him on. So I also play the Roshi too. So he's also a U7 that you can pay for the X evolve. His X evolve cost requires that you place 1 U7 in your drop area. So you just drop one of these guys, and then you can evolve him on top of him. So, but I only play 1, and then I play one of these guys. He fetches it, either him or him, from the drop area using. So if you have him in the drop area, you can also revive him, and then bring back this card to your hand. Sorry, yeah, you can bring back this card to your hand, and then next turn play him, and then evolve on top of him. So it's a very neat strategy. Roshi also acts as a negate as well. So there's a lot of little tricks you can do with this deck. So yeah, that was the deck profile. This is how I call this Roshi's toolbox, or Roshi's I just call it Roshi's toolbox because you can just mill cards into your drop area and utilize it as a second hand. And of course, you're going to need to have Shenrons in your hand, or Shenrons on the board, to be able to make your drop area act as a second hand. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. The other video will have all the matchups, so this video will just be the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your New Year's. Peace out.